In game two of Origin 2025, New South Wales Attack was at the standard you'd expect from maybe St Mary's or Cabramatta under 11s. Luckily for New South Wales, Queensland's defence has been the equivalent to Logan Brothers or West Mitch's under 9s. No offence to them too. My name's Lee Addison and I'm going to give you a detailed breakdown of what I saw in Origin 2. The New South Wales team attack has definitely been average in game 1 and 2. The halves, including Nathan Cleary, the much vaunted player, have been following a very strange plan or doing it very wrong. Basically, it's individual brilliance that is toppling Queensland at the moment. That and a combination from poor defending from Queensland players and also the Queensland defensive system. Right now, to score tries, New South Wales need momentum, missed tackles from Queensland, or a kick to score. If New South Wales get their attack right, they will literally destroy Queensland in Origin 3. If Queensland sort their defence out and New South Wales don't sort out their attack, anything can happen. In other words, Queensland could roll New South Wales. If both improve in both areas, I think New South Wales have enough individual talent to get over the top of Queensland, because that is what has been happening so far, because the tactics from both the coaches, or lack of tactics, have been pretty hideous, in my opinion. I'm going to ask you a question. When you attack in the red zone, as it's known, or in good ball, as we tend to call it in the coaching circles, you have 6 plays to do something, okay? Would you agree with me it would be better to attack with some passes, with some line shots, 1, 2, and 3 passes along the line? To do that once is probably too little. To do it twice or 3 times is better than doing it once with 5 hit-ups to get to that place. Would you agree? And if you're going to attack once in that set of 6, you'd hope it'd be a sensational attack, wouldn't you? Wait till I show you what New South Wales did, particularly when they were in the red zone in game 2, and particularly when they were chasing the game in the second half. Let me share my screen. Hopefully you can see a bright orange screen there. We're doing the New South Wales Origin analysis from Game 2 in 2025. This first image is a great image to see how New South Wales looked at the Queensland defence. If you look at the image that we have, there are 13 Queensland defenders in screen if you include Kalen Ponga at the fullback area there. Right now, the Queensland defence is set, and there's no problem with their defensive structure right now. New South Wales, however, are still quite bunched up, as you can see. The first play they did was to do a hit-up off the first receiver. The first receiver didn't have any width to his pass, so they didn't really move the defence around very much. If you look back a clip, it's a hit-up that goes to roughly where you can see the referee. So they've not moved the ball very far. So they've not done much to the Queensland defence. The next thing they do is do a 2-pass shift back to the other side of the field. And this is Dylan Edwards here. And looking at this screenshot, would you go out of the back to Stephen Crichton, or would you go short here to Liam Martin? Well, Edwards goes short despite that overlap. And he's probably, to be fair, doing that under pressure, but he could have still got it out the back to Stephen Crichton because there would be a big overlap. Look at what we're looking for here. It's defenders turning in. Their hips are turning in. So if that ball went out the back, Stephen Crichton could have gone over in the corner, at least had an overlap to get a quick play the ball. So Liam Martin gets tackled there. Look at the New South Wales shape now. Do they look like they're about to launch an attacking raid? Do they look like they're ready to challenge the Queensland defence, which is actually very well set? Now, just using this screenshot, do you think New South Wales should score from this position? All of the players are looking towards the ball. The only player who's actually not looking towards the ball seems like Latrell Mitchell here, who it looks like he's whispering something to somebody as he walks past. But otherwise, it's very unimpressive from New South Wales in terms of shape. They pass 2 passes again to Luai, and Luai actually kicks the ball to score from here. So there's my first indication of how poor the New South Wales attack is. Not doing much to the Queensland defence, and also having to kick through the line to score. Like I said, individual brilliance and kicks are what are helping New South Wales right now. We now in the 15th minute into the second half. Okay, so Queensland obviously had all the momentum after a while, 6 against and penalties, and they got a good point lead over New South Wales. So now we're in the 15th minute of the second half, and it's a tap penalty. And what New South Wales do here is what we call a +1 to the middle. +1 means a pass from dummy half or from the tap, and then somebody passes it again. Okay. On the next play, Yo just takes a carry. He feinted as if to use the shape to pass, and that's why he's stepping off his left foot. But look at the body language of Cleary. Look at the body language of Edwards. None of them are really moving in a position to attack the football. I'd expect better from Cleary in this position. I'd expect him to be organising something for the next play onwards. Stephen Crichton is the centre, and he's out of position here at the bottom. They literally are all over the show. This looks like Zach Lomax's head at the bottom of the screen too. So they're all walking towards the ball. This is what under 11s do. This is what under 9s do, 8s do, 6s, 7s. Yo also looked to go outside then and then tried to consider passing the ball, but he ended up going himself. Shades of Pat Carrigan and DCE in the first analysis that I did. It's out there on YouTube still. Luai gets exactly the same. Luai has exactly the same problem. From the play the ball that Yo did, this was a 2-pass shift to get to him. And yes, we must give credit to the Queensland defence for rushing him. But basically, Luai can't go anywhere with the ball because the organisation hasn't happened around him or the people haven't got into the right shapes. And this is what I mean about poor coaching. Okay? There's another hit up after this. I think, is this Hudson Young? And again, all that New South Wales are doing is playing between the tram lines at the moment. They're not stretching Queensland at all, and they're very readable in attack. They are playing a reactive style of football. Credit to number 16 here, who I think was Hudson Young. He offloads, and it causes something of a problem in the Queensland defensive line. And then from that play the ball, we have a 2-pass shift where it then goes to Nathan Cleary, who kicks the ball, and it goes for a dropout. We have the dropout, and Crichton catches the ball first, and then we have a simple hit up here. So New South Wales are building pressure. That's all they're doing. So there was a short dropout. Brian Toto is now taking the ball, and we're roughly near a scrum line, about 15, 20 metres in from the touchline. There's another hit up. So I keep going back to what I said about under 9s, under 10s, under 11s. They tend to worry about moving the ball sometimes, and they just take hit up sometimes, don't they? And that's why the rules are in for the first receiver to push the ball on. Well, this is what New South Wales were doing when it mattered in this game. Another hit up, and we're still playing in the middle of the field. The next play, the shift, and it is a lateral shift finally. Now, have a look at this. What do you think happened here? Because we have the New South Wales winger Lomax, the New South Wales centre, and there's significant numbers for Queensland. They've actually got 3 defenders that can be involved in this. You know what happens? Val Holmes falls off the tackle to Stephen Crichton. This should never have happened. Poor defence from Val Holmes. So again, this is what I'm saying. It's individual players, New South Wales getting over the top of Queensland, but with a very poor structure. Looking at what has happened here, this should never have happened. I'll show you a clip now that stands out. Look at the numbers that Queensland have in defence and look how condensed the New South Wales shape is. They should never have scored a try in this moment. Let me take a break from doing this analysis to tell you about my Ashes tour to the Rugby League Ashes between England and Australia. You never know. Everybody's dropping out of being the coach. One of you might end up being the Australia coach. 2.5 weeks in England, tickets for the first 2 tests, all your flights, all your accommodation, all your internal transfers, and plenty of non-football and football events in between. If you are interested, please see if you can scan that QR code to get the link and have a look at the Rugby League Ashes tour. If you're in the UK and you're interested in the hotels or the tickets, please get in touch too. You can contact me at admin@rugbyleaguecoach.com.au if you want to email me. Now, I'm also running a competition. I've recently released a book called Rugby League Coach, 13 Game-Changing Conversations to Transform Your Coaching. You can buy any product from me at rugbyleaguecoach.com.au/shop. before the end of July to be within a chance to win a free trip for 2 to the UK on that tour. If you are in England or in Europe and you don't need the flights, you can get the hotels and the tickets for free if you get drawn out the hat on that trip. We're 23 minutes from the end now, and from a scrum, Luai passes the ball to Stephen Crichton, not really testing the defence in any way, shape or form, just merely sending Stephen Crichton in to carry the football. From this, Connor Watson, from that play the ball, if you have a look where Stephen Crichton took the ball, so he's on basically the right scrum line on the field. The next play, Connor Watson has brought it all the way back up to the top of the screen, which is near the other scrum line. He did a wiggle across the field, or a wriggle, I should say. And I think he eventually decided to target Harry Grant. And in the middle of that, and it's probably in mitigation for Connor Watson here, they did actually get a 6 again. So he probably just thought, I'll target Harry Grant. And again, that was a big tactic of New South Wales. Again, quite frankly, I don't think there's any better missed tackler than green grass and fresh air. There's no worse tackler in the world than green grass and fresh air. And all New South Wales are doing is trying to target humans. In the next hit up, again, very basic. They're still within those scrum lines, still within those tram lines. The next thing that you'd expect them to do is move the ball laterally. But no, all the New South Wales players are walking towards the ball, and Cleary on the next play takes the ball in like a prop. He's been doing that an awful lot lately. I think his brain is somewhat confused about his football at the moment. He's reverting a lot to just running the football, and he literally looks like a prop sometimes when he runs the ball. He's getting bigger and bigger in the gym, I think, as well. Next hit up, very simple, and they are still very much within the tram lines. They've not moved the Queensland defence around whatsoever. You may be thinking, what's Lee talking about moving the defence around? Well, if I want to target Queensland on the right, I'm going to set up on the left and get as many of their defenders on the wrong side of the field as possible before I shift. I don't know what New South Wales are trying here. This is Payne Haas just taking the ball in. How many hit-ups do New South Wales need here? But, to be fair to them, on the next play, they score from here. Now, what can you see here? You can see the hammer is starting to turn in. If you look at the numbers, this defender, Robert Toyer, is already committed somewhat to a defender inside, and then he detaches to an attacker inside, I should say. Then he detaches, but New South Wales still managed to go around because the hammer comes to Latrell Mitchell with Robert Toyer. In other words, two people tried to do the work of one person in defence. So if you want to see why Hammer might be fullback next week, one of the reasons is because he's not great in the front line. This is Robert Toyer here. This is the hammer in front of him. He's actually cut across Robert Toyer to get to Latrell Mitchell, and it's left an overlap on the outside. And Kalen Ponga is just too late to get there. Brian Toto scores in the corner. In the last 3 minutes, Ponga fumbled a bomb. New South Wales scored, and it's probably over. So what do they do at their key moment? Luai gives it to Cleary, who reacted late. Shades of DCE in Origin 1. And he gives the ball to Azaio, who just carts the ball up to the middle of the field. In the next play, Cleary passes the ball to Luai, who again runs down a dark alley. This is a very interesting clip because there's so many Queensland defenders in the screen. One of the reasons is that the New South Wales attack isn't doing anything to move around the Queensland defence. I'll repeat it. If you want to go to the left and break Queensland on their right, so your left as you attack, move Queensland to your right, shift the ball to the left, get them doing passive tackles. This is not happening with New South Wales. What happens here? Cleary pass to Luai, who then does what he does quite often when he runs out of space. He runs back in, does what I call his own C line. He runs like the letter C, and he comes back and gives it to Cleary, who runs the ball back in straight to where the previous play the ball was. So they made no meters and not changed any position in the defensive line. The next attack, Azaio takes another hit up. If this was DCE in game 1, he would have been dropped. If this is a losing game in game 1, and he was a Queensland halfback and 37 years of age, he would have been dropped. But Nathan Cleary, at the moment, we can't, anybody who has a go at him, including me, get shot down. But this is awful from the halfback. awful organisation and awful coaching as well. In a moment, Cleary gets the ball in front of a flush defence again, so just passes the ball back inside. There's no plan. They haven't got any clue of how to break down this Queensland defence. The only reason they have scored is from gaining momentum with fast play the balls, with kicks, and with poor individual errors from Queensland. Now, the next clip, that's the play the ball where Spencer Leniu has played it. Let's look at the Queensland defence. 4 defenders in the screen there, plus the marker. They've got one marker because they're within the 10 metres. So there's 5 out of the... there's 5 in the screen, which means there's only 8 not in screen at the moment. But they still look quite set, Queensland. But New South Wales haven't got an attacking shape that will cause them any difficulty. Queensland knock the ball down, so they get a 6 again. So even though they didn't score, they've got a 6 again because Queensland panicked in defence and knocked the ball down. In the new set, Lomax comes in all the way from the wing and tries to get Harry Grant to make a tackle almost in the middle of the field. Next set, Spencer Leniu does a simple hit up, but what was clear here, can you see Luai's arms are up? He was not happy with Connor Watson. He wanted the ball because he saw an overlap and he didn't get it. So maybe some of these problems are coming from the number 9 area too, but where is Nathan Cleary organising it all? And then the last play of the game, and this I think was the point when we all realised that the game was gone for New South Wales. This is where Nathan Cleary hits Payne Haas and Payne Haas loses the ball in the tackle. Look at the potential overlap. If Nathan Cleary would have gone round the back to Dylan Edwards, could New South Wales have gone in the corner? Let's check the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Queensland players in the screen, which means there's only 2 Queensland players outside here. Going to the back man to Dylan Edwards would have brought the right second rower in here, the right centre and the right wing. New South Wales would have had an overlap. So I hope you agree with me after watching this that the New South Wales attack, and particularly the role of Nathan Cleary at half, and maybe the hookers as well, passing to the wrong places, was really poor, and they attacked like children. Queensland, their defence was set in places, but individuals let them down. If one of them sorts that out, so if New South Wales sort out their attack, Queensland are gone. If Queensland sort out their attack and New South Wales don't, their defence, and New South Wales don't sort out their attack, we could have a Queensland victory. If both improve both aspects, New South Wales' individual brilliance is going to get them over the line. Thank you for watching this video or listening to it on the Rugby League Coach podcast, which is out every Monday morning. Take care.